Hey fly tires, welcome back. And if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. My name is Matt, and this is all about tying flies. I've got a very simple one for you tonight. It's called the Teal Nymph. Basically only two components to it, some teal flank feathers and a little bit of gray dubbing. Quite simple to tie. I think you're going to enjoy it. Stick around. So first off, in the hook, I'm tying this on a size 14 standard nymph hook, barbless 1X long. Got a 2.4 millimeter tungsten bead. I'm going to lay down about 8 or 10 wraps of 015 non-lead weight. Now when you've got that weight jammed up in your bead there, grab your black thread. I am using UTC 70 denier. I'll put a little dam behind the weight, take some wraps up over the weight, and then build a taper down to where I'm going to tie the tail. Okay, now for the tail, or we got a little nubbin sticking off right there. Let's see if we can press that a little flatter. That'll be fine. So for the tail, it's just teal flank feathers, fibers from a teal flank feather. You can get about 10, 12, 15 even. These are very thin fibers. So even about a good size clump of them will not be too bulky of a tail. So lay that on, get it positioned where you want. Now I'm going to leave the butt ends of these just to help me even out this body up here until I get to the weight. Now I will trim the butt ends off right there. So next up is our rib. I'm using silver wire, ultra size small. I like to tie this in at about a 45-degree angle for my first wrap there. Then you can pull it to where you want it to end up. Now a few locking wraps right there. And take it back to the start of the tail. Back it off just a little bit. Now the body of this guy, more teal flank fibers. I'm going to tie these in tips by the tips. It's pretty much how you would do a pheasant tail. You wrap the pheasant tail. It's a little bit trickier in that these fibers are probably shorter than most pheasant tail fibers. So you most likely will need your hackle pliers. These kind of hackle pliers here that can grab with the spring-loaded hook on the end. Now you'll probably only get 4 wraps, 5 if you're lucky, but that's fine because this body is only about halfway up the fly. Looks like that's about as much as I'm going to get out of these fibers, which that'll be fine. You'll see in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and snip it off before I take it out of my hackle pliers. It's going to be a little messy either way, so just try to catch those in right there. And now we'll be able to trap those with our rib. So take your silver wire and let's counter wrap it. 4 or 5 turns will be sufficient to get this locked in. Put some tension on your thread, pull that tight. Now let's back this up just a little. More teal flank fibers. This time we're going to tie them in front of the bead, point forward. So think about it, we're going to flip them back over, so try to judge your length before you get it locked in for good. So if I flip it over right there, that's about what I want, maybe to the point of the hook when I fold it back. So let's go ahead and lock this in right here. Trim those butt ends off. Now let's dub the thorax. Get a little bit of wax, a little bit of gray fine dubbing. I'm using synthetic here. Now let's push these back. We want some of them on the top and some of them on the side. So you could probably do this with the half-inch tool. I've found it easier just to do it with my fingers. So a couple of loose to medium wraps to start, and then just a few more to secure it. So I think we've got them coming off mostly the top, but let's see if we can push a little bit over to the side there. Okay, I think that'll do right there. Now when you've got your legs where you want them, just a little bit more wax and a little bit more dubbing. It won't take as much this time. I could probably use just a little bit more dubbing right there. Okay, and then make your last wraps right behind the bead. That's where we're going to whip finish it, a 3 or 4 turn. No need for head cement on this. You're going to get your whip right behind the bead so it will hold just as well without the head cement. Now go ahead and snip your thread. You might have a little bit of cleanup if you've got some of these synthetic fibers flowing off. But that's it. Very simple tie. Hope you enjoyed it, folks. I appreciate you watching this far, and we'll see you next time.